Hello everybody and welcome to a new series that I will be doing, Xcom 2, Long War 2, the long-awaited mod to Xcom 2 to make it much better than it is already. A couple of things that I want to say before I start off this video. I want to let you guys know that I will take any kind of feedback that you guys have, and I will utilize that feedback. Another thing that I want to say is that I have a character pool that I can absolutely create, so if you want to be in the game, leave a comment below with your name and I'll throw it in the game. Even better if you have some sort of picture or something like that that you wanna include in the character pool, I'll include that in the game as well. Right now I just have myself as a character. I'll add a few friends and stuff like that as the game progresses. Maybe some iconic characters and that. Another thing is, this game is not sponsored, much like all of the things going on YouTube right now in which they are sponsored, so you will actually get my 100% honest opinions on the game, the review of the game, and you know what, let's just jump right into it. We're going to do a Long War 2 here. I'm going to go ahead and do Veteran, and you know what, we won't do the tutorial. Reduce beginner VO, the voiceover directed towards new players. You know what, that's okay to just have. Show subtitles, of course, yeah. Because I think that'll be a lot of fun. And I am going to enable Iron Man. We'll see how long this series lasts. Honestly, with the Iron Man mode and my... Let's let this play before I continue talking. Oh, someone forgot their car keys in their pocket. Alright, and here we are. There's a black screen. Okay, there we go. I have had reports that the loading times of this particular game are bad. The mod and the game in general have always had bad loading times, and it seems because of all the background operations that are going on with the way that this game works, the loading times have actually increased, which is unfortunate. And I actually have a pretty good system, and still the loading times are abhorrent, to be honest with you. So that is one of my main complaints about the game, is the fact that the loading takes forever. But once you drop into a mission, you'll learn that a mission is anywhere from 30 to 45 minutes. So every 30 to 45 minutes, even up to an hour, sometimes you will run into a loading screen, which isn't too gameplay breaking because they come from one mission to the next. So it's not like in the middle of the mission you're always having a bunch of loading screens or anything like that. What is a little bit unstable, I guess, at this current particular moment in time is the fact that when you're during a mission, you'll notice that there are some frame rate issues. Generally, once you contact an enemy pod or anything of that nature. So, one thing that I wanted to do, it's kind of cool. Clicking key to launch is right there on the screen. One thing that I wanted to do is talk about, maybe to those that are new to the XCOM series, I want to do a little bit like a tutorial here. Give you guys a first impressionist view, what's going on here, and exactly how you can play this game without losing all your troops on the first mission. So, the first little pop-up here says ambush enemy troops. Advent typically moves its forces in large groups, but we have located a smaller unit on its own that is vulnerable. A well-timed assault will damage Advent's interests in this region and can afford us a rare opportunity to bring home enemy corpses for research. So what that means is that we're all concealed. The enemy does not know that we're here. This isn't true with every mission, just on specific concealed missions. And so what that means is that we can set up any kind of ambush if we are not in the enemy's view, and then we can put maybe like everyone on Overwatch and then have one person fire. What Overwatch does is it makes it so as the enemy starts moving, our teammates will shoot at them. So if you put everyone on Overwatch, you have one person shoot at them, then everybody else will start scattering, and then everyone will shoot at them, which is pretty cool. I did want to play a little bit of the story of XCOM for those of you who are not familiar with it. So on the first XCOM game, what had happened is aliens have come and they were very aggressive in the very beginning of the game. They were harvesting humans. They were coming in and they were attacking everyone. So you were an elite force in the military, pretty much, that decided to do some warfare with the aliens, and we lost. So they did take over. XCOM 2 takes place in that situation, which I think is a really cool idea, because not a lot of game franchises will do it where you kind of just lose, and then the next game, you play as the loser. So we're all guerrilla warfare at this point. We're a very small unit. We don't have the government support because the government is now backed by the aliens. So at this point, we're trying to figure out what's going on with them. We think that there's a lot of suspicious things, and we'll continue there. So since I've given you a little bit more of the story, I think we can begin the game here. So I like to usually look around the map. There's always how do you say it? A border around the map. So it's not always the map has limits. So it's nice to know, like over here on the left-hand side in the bottom corner, like this is the corner of the map. Therefore, we know with positivity that there aren't any aliens over here, and that our goals will rely over here somewhere. So when you start the game, when you go to the blue, that means that you can go to that particular place and also have another action available for you. If you go to the yellow, that means you use both actions, and everyone gets 2 actions. So we'll start with my avatar, Broden here, who's who's a pretty chill dude, I'd say. And I went with a more realistic approach. I was in the Marine Corps, so one thing that I would say is I went with kind of the urban camouflage situation, since we are in an urban environment here. If you push tab, it will get you to the next soldier. So I'm just going to put all my soldiers up here, kind of post some sort of defense maneuver here, and see if we can't get the drop on these Advent soldiers. That was definitely the most valuable way you could have gotten there. I'm sure that jumping down and then climbing that pipe was certainly necessary for you to move from one side of the roof to the other. Definitely he doesn't cut any corners. He's definitely straight to the point, which is nice. Now, you will notice a shield, a half shield with most of my characters. This means they're in half cover, which means they're harder to hit, and it counts as a defense bonus. This particular person is not in any cover. They have no shield. So if you notice right here, Rab is my nickname. He does have a half shield. So, let's tab back over to the other individual that hasn't moved yet, Yu Ying Song, and we'll move him over to here. Her over to here. I will get blasted for calling that a guy, but oh well. So there are two options that we can do here. We can put everyone on Overwatch. We can tell people to hunker down. What hunker down does is gives you a defense bonus. We can throw some flashbangs. We can throw some grenades. We can try and move a little bit further. But the dangerous part about moving further is if let's say I move this person right here, and she spots a lot of aliens. I've already used both of her turns, so she can't do anything about it at that point. So what I like to do is I like to put everyone on Overwatch. And then that way, if there are aliens that come across our view, we will all just blast them in the face. So I'm sure you've noticed these characters right here. These are civilians. So they're just normal citizens, but again, we're not operating under government jurisdiction. We are soldiers that are a little bit more rogue, I guess you can say. So